Hello, welcome again. So in my last video I have discussed until this point immigration medical exam and certain other conditions. Another thing you have to understand, you cannot include dependents in this application. So as we know, in visitor visa the principal applicant can include dependents. In student visa they can include dependents, but here, not unlike visitor visa and study permit, in your super visa application you cannot include dependents in this application. You have to apply alone. Okay, all right, so you are the only applicant here. So I have discussed eligible who can apply. So what will make you eligible? So I have discussed bunch of things. Now only thing left is health insurance. Okay, so you must have a proof of health insurance policy from either a Canadian insurance company or an insurance company outside Canada. There are two options. You need to have an health insurance from a Canadian insurance company or an insurance company outside the Canada. The second option is authorized by the Office of Superintendent of Financial Institutions, OSFI, under the Insurance Companies Act to provide accident and sickness insurance, and appears on OSFI's publicly available list of federally regulated financial institutions and has issued or made the policy during the course of its insurance business in Canada. So there are a bunch of conditions it needs to make if this company is a company outside Canada. Okay, if the insurance company is outside Canada, then it has to be authorized by the Insurance Authority of Canada, like OSFI. Okay, and under the Insurance Companies Act. All right, and it has to appear on the OSFI's publicly available list and has to have issued or made the policy during the course of its insurance business in Canada. And also it needs to have already issued insurance business in has issued or made the policy, like it has to issue policy in Canada during its business in Canada. So there are bunch of conditions, like 3 conditions it needs to meet if it is outside Canada. Okay, so it's better a Canadian insurance company. It simplifies the problem. If you have a Canadian insurance company and take the insurance from them, that is better, right? So it will make you eligible. But if you want to have an insurance company outside Canada that gives you the insurance, then 3 conditions, it is going to be a tougher thing. So I would think of the easier one, the first one. Okay, then what happens? Insurance brokers and insurance claims administrators are not insurance companies and not appear on the OSFI list. You need to understand one thing. Insurance brokers and insurance claim administrators, those are not insurance companies. Those are brokers or administrators, not the companies, insurance companies, and will not appear on the OSFI list. So who are not insurance companies will not be in that list. That is normal. So you have to understand that. If you take the policy from one of them, then you are taking the policy from a wrong entity. So your eligibility will be it will not be eligibility. Okay, you will not have the eligibility in that case. The company that issues the policy, sometimes known as the insurer or the underwriter, must be identified on the proof of insurance. And also your insurance contract should clearly state or identify the insurer or the underwriter. Okay, it has to be identified so that the Canadian visa officer can cross check whether you have taken the insurance from the right entity or not. Okay, all the policies that are issued by a foreign insurance company must include a statement that the document was issued or made in the course of its insurance business in Canada. So that is going to be an additional requirement. If your policy are issued by a foreign insurance company, then there will be an inclusion of a statement that the document was issued or made in the course of its insurance business in Canada. So it gets complicated. I do not want to go into the option which is more complicated. Okay, so another thing is the health insurance policy should be valid for a minimum 1 year from the date of entry. So the policy that you will be taking should cover the time frame until 1 year is passed from the date of entry. Alright, so for example, if you are going to enter Canada like 5 days later, so your insurance contract should cover 371 days from today. Okay, so that you can avail the insurance for until 1 year of your entry. Okay, you enter Canada, then from that time for 1 year it will be valid or more. Be valid for a minimum 1 year from the date of entry. So minimum 1 year. Okay, it should be higher or not higher, but at least 1 year. Be paid in full or in installments with a deposit. Okay, so it can be paid in full. Your insurance contract can be paid in full, or your premiums can be also made in installments. So that is another option. So the insurance policy should be paid in full or installments with a deposit, or in installments with a deposit. Okay, or in installments with a deposit means maybe if you take the policy for 2 years, it has to be 24 installments monthly or 8 quarterly installments or whatever. Okay, so the contract will tell you that. The cover healthcare, hospitalization, and repatriation. You have to understand that if it doesn't cover these 3 things mentioned here, cover the healthcare, hospitalization, and repatriation, these 3 facilities are not covered, then it is not going to make you eligible. Okay, you have to keep in mind when you get the policy. Provide a minimum coverage of $100,000. So the coverage has to be minimum $100,000. Okay, minimum. It can be higher, but at least $100,000. Okay. As a super visa holder, you should have a valid health insurance policy while in Canada. If your health insurance will expire before you leave Canada, you may need to renew or maintain your health insurance during your stay. Private health insurance must be valid for each entry to Canada. Be prepared to show your proof of paid insurance to a border services officer when you enter Canada. So when you enter Canada, the border officer may require the health insurance proof, so you need to keep it with yourself. Okay, when you enter Canada through airport, do not miss that. Okay, so that is the discussion for today. So other conditions we consider. So we have discussed these things in the past. So in my second video I told you everything about that, so I am not going to discuss it again. Other conditions we consider, I already discussed that. So thank you for today. Have a good day. Bye.